Welcome to the outskirts of Kars. Today I'm riding through this bleak rain to the Ani ruins. Mate, no wonder Russia captured this city. Perfect level of bleakness. All downhill to Ani's ruins. Some kind of military watchtower up there. Very quickly getting close to the Armenian border here, formerly known as the Iron Curtain. That's Armenia over there in the far distance. Those big mountains, it's all Armenia. There they are. I can see the Ani ruins in the distance. Welcome to Ani. Look at this giant ass Turkish flag over here. It's just taunting the Armenians. Here we are, the walls of Ani. Ancient swastika. This place used to be the capital of the Bagratid Armenian Kingdom and subsequent Armenian kingdoms. It was a city of unparalleled splendor in the Middle Ages. It was known as the city of 1001 churches. These walls are some of the most impressive walls of the medieval times, if not the most impressive. The fact that this is in Turkey is a sore spot for Armenians. This is a big part of national pride for Armenia. It represents their past splendor. And Turkey took it in the Revolutionary War, so they're not happy about that. They've wanted it back ever since. There's a song in Armenia called "Let Me See Ani Before I Die," because the border's closed and it's very hard for Armenians to come into Turkey. They just want to see their old ancient splendid capital. I understand. I just feel very lucky and privileged that I get to see it now. This place contains some of the most remarkable examples of medieval Armenian architecture. And this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, by the way. It was known as the City of 40 Gates. There's another gate in addition to the one we came in through. It lay on the confluence of several major trade routes like the Silk Road and others, so it became very rich. It was at its height in the 10th and 11th centuries, had a population of over 100,000. What a desolate and eerie place. Whole lot of cliff dwellings down there. This whole landscape is comprised of very similar stone to Cappadocia. So there's the same kind of thing going on. The wall mainly exists along that stretch. From here on, there's a nice big cliff to defend. In 1064, a giant Seljuk Turk army showed up and laid siege to the city. It took 25 days for Ani to capitulate. The army came in and massacred the inhabitants. It was an utter bloodbath. Apparently, you couldn't walk down a single street without having to step over so many corpses. Corpses clogged the streets, apparently. This is the Seljuk Palace. I really like the use of multiple different colored stones to make this. It's very intricate. So this place is comprised entirely of volcanic basalt, which is very easily carvable tough stone, very similar to the type that you find in Cappadocia. Comes in a variety of colors: black, red, yellow, which really is what gives this place its distinctive color scheme. Here we've got a round church. Church of St. Gregory was a big deal around here. Most of the churches that survive are dedicated to him. There's a reconstruction of what it used to look like. And there's the floor plan, ambulatory, wrapped around a tetraconch design. Let's get a look inside. This is quite a capital here. It's hard to visualize the splendor, but you sort of can. Imagine this thing towering up. All these carved columns around the outside. There's a little cat. Little Annie cat. Annie Ruins cat. Queen Tamar the Great of Georgia recaptured this place in 1201, re-established the Armenian dynasties, but then the place was brutally sacked by the Mongols in 1236. So this is the fire temple. It was built in the Persian Empire between 4th and 5th centuries BC. It's the oldest surviving religious structure in Ani. It was converted into a Christian temple when Armenia converted to Christianity, which was the first state in the whole world to do so, before the Roman Empire. Here we have the Church of the Holy Apostles from around the 10th or 11th centuries. What an utterly stunning place this is. You gotta come here, Ani. It's the most far-flung of Turkey's UNESCO-Heritage Sites, all the way here over on the Armenian border, but well worth it. It's just insane. Cobblestone paving. These could have been shops. The city was rebuilt, but then in 1319 there was a giant earthquake which completely leveled it. It's hard to imagine, really, after all the sackings, burnings, earthquakes, all the disasters, that anything would be left. But I guess that's just a testament to how well built this place is. Look at this giant thing. Look at that spiral staircase inside. So this is the remains of a minaret. There was a mosque built on this site, and apparently this toppled over in 1890. Over there is the Cathedral of Ani, possibly the most important monument. Let's go have a look. So the remarkable thing about the Cathedral of Ani is that it features architectural elements that are characteristic of Gothic architecture, except it predates European Gothic cathedrals by multiple centuries. People say that this inspired and influenced Gothic architecture in Europe, this particular cathedral. But this is the progenitor of the entire style. Let's see if we can have a look inside. So there was a characteristic Armenian conical roof where that big hole is now. You can see what they mean. This does kind of seem like a Gothic cathedral. And here's the apse. This thing is so well built to have survived the earthquakes. You know, I just can't help myself. Gotta see what's up here. It collapsed in the earthquake, the cone roof. The rest of the structure has survived pretty much intact. What an awesome structure. I just love this cathedral. It's so nice. The progenitor of all Gothic architecture. Let's have a look at that little church over here. The local bovine lawn mowers, keeping the place trim. This particular church is fenced off. Seems fairly secure. So there's a way in. Let's get a closer look at the inside of this thing. No one inside the security post, fortunately. one. It's a bit hot. Pretty good view of it from here though. Ah, screw it. Good to get a look at the remains of these ancient Armenian frescoes. YOLO. And here we are. Top of the dome. Beautiful. That river down there is the Armenian border. There's an Armenian flag flying over there. Okay, I'm getting down from here now. Okay, here we have a small bathhouse. Very nice church building down here. It's just so medieval. These are the most incredible medieval ruins I've ever seen. Honestly, respect to Armenia. They were the original Christian nation. This church was built in 1215. Church of St. Gregory. And there's the river separating Turkey and Armenia. So near yet so far. Honestly, I'd love to go to Armenia, but you just can't go there from Turkey. Armenian military guard towers. Amazing to think, really. That used to be the Soviet Union. And that river was the Iron Curtain. Now it's still a closed military border. There's just so much rubble from all these collapsed buildings. Just imagine if this was all excavated. You'd have a huge town plan visible. Here's the Seljuk Bazaar. Let's check out the Church of St. Gregory of the Abu Ghamrans. This is the most intact building here at the Ani ruins. Small chapel, but here it is, standing defiantly after all these years, all these traumatic events. Hexagonal church, 6 fully intact apses, a beautiful conical roof. Interesting Star of David's there. This gives you an idea of what that other octagonal minaret would have looked like before it toppled in 1890. Very nice use of that tough stone to make Allah written up there. That's pretty cool. This was built in the 1070s by the Seljuk Empire. It's actually the first Seljuk mosque in all of Anatolia. Beautiful use of these multicolored stones. Appears to be a functional mosque still. Thousand-year-old mosque. Pretty amazing. Got a nice view over to Armenia. Prayer beads. What an impressive nave. That's a beautiful mosque, so ancient, so historical. First Seljuk mosque in Anatolia. They built it after they slaughtered the city. Okay, one thing left to see. The citadel. City of 1,001 churches indeed. You know, it's a real shame that the Armenians can't come and see their grand old capital. It's really a shame that Armenia and Turkey hate each other so much. But I mean, there's good reason for the animosity. Turkey to this day denies the entire Armenian genocide, which is just terrible. They really should admit to it. Ever since the Seljuks came and massacred Ani, they've been hating the Armenians and massacring them whenever chance they get. It's absolutely a travesty. It's probably the worst thing Turkey's done. And I, for one, really wish they'd just admit to it and say sorry to Armenia. Start the healing process. Because until then, Armenia's going to hate them. Rightfully so. I mean, Turkey still teaches Armenian genocide denialism in its schools. That's a part of its official curriculum. so precarious. It's hard to believe this thing doesn't just topple over. So bleak and desolate. That giant impressive rock formation down there, that's Kizkali, the Virgin's Castle. You can't get out to it because that's part of the restricted military zone, but you can see a little church built on top. Armenian and Russian flags flying over there. The Russian military still controls Armenia, has a very big presence there. See that down there? Destroyed bridge between Turkey and Armenia. What a potent symbol. They long since burned their bridges. This has been the Ani ruins, signing off here.